Now that we're connected to this remote computer, we can start interacting with the computer by running commands on this computer. This computer is a computer. It's a machine. There's a box in a room somewhere that's called Goose, and it's sitting there. And right now, we are connected to it with SSH, and we're able to run commands on that machine. Part of running that commands on that machine is also being able to interact with the folder structures that are on that computer, the folders and files. With Windows and Mac OS, we are usually interacting with the folders and files on our computer by opening up Windows Explorer or Finder and using our mouse to click around. On the command line and on the terminal, we're going to be using commands to be able to do that. So right now, the very first thing I want to do is that I will often do this. I don't like to have this extra stuff at the beginning of my terminal, so I'll type in clear to remove all of that. The other option that you have is you can press Control L on your keyboard, and that will also clear things very quickly. So this just erases all that extra stuff that's at the top. It's actually just hidden it. If I scroll up, I might be able to see it. The very first thing that I want to do is find out about the directory that I'm currently in. So when we're looking at a folder in Windows, we open up Windows Explorer and we can see what files are in that folder. Right now, our shell here, our terminal, a prompt is happily blinking away, waiting for us to type some input, but it's not showing us anything about what's here right now. If I type in ls on my keyboard and press enter, this says list contents. This is going to show us all of the things that are currently in the directory that we are looking at. I've got some directories here. I've got some files here. What you see on yours output is going to be different than what I'm seeing here, and that's okay. That's expected. Once I have listed the contents of a directory, I also want to be able to make directories. So on Windows and on Mac OS, this often looks like right-clicking on the folder space, like kind of a blank spot in the folder and selecting new folder, or using keyboard shortcuts like Command N or Control N on your keyboard in Windows. I'm going to use a command on the command prompt to make a new directory on Goose. That command is called makedir. And what makedir takes as an argument, so the information that I need to give makedir about what it's supposed to do, is the name of the folder that I want it to make. I want makedir to make a folder that's called hello, and I'm going to press enter. Once I type ls now, we can see that there's this extra thing that we've added here that's a folder that's called hello. One of the problems with all of the commands that we're going to be looking at on the terminal is that we can't really use spaces in the same way that we did with our visual file explorers. So if I were to do something like makedir Franklin world like this, I've got makedir, this is the name of the command, and then the argument, the thing that I want to intend to create, is a directory that's called Franklin world with a space. If I press enter here, what this actually does is it makes two directories, one of them called Franklin and one of them called world. We can't just put spaces into file names and folders on the terminal. And so my two suggestions for you are to either avoid using spaces or escape the spaces that you're using. So if I do actually want to make a directory called Franklin world, one option I have is to say makedir Franklin-world. So replace my spaces with dashes. I can do underscore world, replace my spaces with underscores. I can just have no spaces at all, although that's a little bit harder to read. I can also use quotes. So if I put this in double quotes, Franklin world like this, our terminal, our shell, is able to understand that the things that are between these two quotes here are one thing, and it should use this as one single name. The last option that you have is to use a special character called backslash. Backslash appears just beneath your delete or your backspace key. And this one here says, this backslash space is supposed to be part of the name that I'm providing to it. This one's the hardest to read, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. My personal preference, and you can kind of see this in some of the folders that I have here, folders and files that I have in this directory already, is that I prefer to use dashes to represent spaces. I'm going to hit Control C on my keyboard right now, and that's going to be like cancel the command. So I've typed this thing in. I don't actually want to make that directory. I just want to stop it. I want to get a new prompt to be able to do something with. So I'm going to hit LS again on my keyboard and press enter. And what I'd like to do right now is I want to be able to change into the directory. So with Windows and Mac OS, when you want to go into a directory, you double click on a folder and it opens up a new window, or it changes the contents of the window that you're looking at right now. On Linux terminals, or on the terminal in general, we need to change into that directory. So I'm going to use a new command called cd. This stands for change directory. I'm going to press enter. And your shell will maybe show something like this. This part of my prompt has changed. Now it's telling me that I used to be in this directory, and now I'm in this directory, which is a subdirectory of what I had before. If I type in ls to list the contents of this directory, I don't expect to see anything because I just made this directory, so it's still empty. I kind of want to go back to where I was before, and so one way I can do that is to type cd ... So ... is a special place. It's going to be go to the parent of this directory. So I type cd ... it will take me back to where I was before. I'm going to change back into hello one more time. And this time I'm going to type in cd and then tilde. So tilde is like the little squiggle symbol that appears just beneath your escape key. Tilde, we see this in a couple places here in my prompt. Tilde is a special directory that is representing my user directory. This is where where all of my stuff goes on this system. So pressing enter here, cd tilde takes me back to that place. I often want to be able to also find out where I am in a directory. So if I type in pwd, this stands for present working directory, I have a folder that looks like this. Yours is going to look a little bit different. It might be home student U, or it might be home CS student U, or if you're running this on your own system, it might be just home U, or if you're running this on a Mac OS system, it might be users U, or if you're running this on a Windows system, it might be users U, C users U. If I change directory to hello again, and I run pwd one more time, then what we can see is that when I change into this directory hello, the present working directory becomes this hello folder. I'm going to change back to my user directory again. So I'm going to type in cd ... I'm going to type ls. I want to see what directories and folders and files and stuff we've got in here. And I want to rename the folder that I just created before. So I'm going to type mv, and this is a command that's called move. Move is a command that we're going to be able to use to move folders and files around and change their names and do both at the same time. So if I type mv, and then the first thing I need to tell it is the name of the thing that I want to change the name of, and then I have to give it the new name that I want it to have, so not hello. If I press enter here and I type ls, what we can see is that this folder called hello is gone. There are other files called hello something, but this has now been replaced by not hello. If I make two separate directories on purpose, so we don't have a folder called hello anymore, so I'm going to make a new one called hello comp 1002. And I made these two directories already. Oh, I already have made that directory. Okay, so I've already made that directory. That's okay. What I'm going to do anyway is I've made this new hello directory, and I want to move that into not hello. So I'm going to say move hello into not hello. If I change into not hello and I type ls again, it's going to show that I've moved that into this place. I'm going to do cd back up one directory. I'm going to move the hello folder back to this one. So I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to start by typing NO on my keyboard, and then I'm going to press tab. This is a quick way for me to autocomplete file names. As opposed to having to type it all in each time, I can use my tab key to really help quickly get the name of a file that I want to do. So I want to move not hello, and I want to move the hello directory. So here I've typed in H and pressed tab, and I want to move that back to this directory. So my move command here now says I would like to take this directory, specifically this one, and I want to move it back to this directory. So ... is go back, or it is the parent directory. Dot is this directory right here. If I press enter and I type ls again, now we have this folder again that's called hello appearing in our directory. The other thing I can do with move is that I can move things around, so like cut and paste operation, but then I can also rename it at the same time. So I'm going to say that I want to move the hello command. I want to move the hello directory into world, but I also want to name it comp 1002. So this is going to take hello as the thing that I want to move. It's going to put it inside the world folder, and it's going to change its name to 1002 at the same time. I'm going to press enter here. If I type ls, the hello directory is gone. I'm going to change into the world directory, so wo, and then I press tab. I'm going to type ls here, and now I have a directory that's called comp 1002. I can also do other things like use the other special locations. So I want to move comp 1002. So I'm typing com and pressing tab. And then I want to move it back to my user directory. So tilde / and I want to change its name back to hello again. I'm going to press enter here. I'm going to type ls. There's nothing in this directory. You just cut and paste it back to that to my user directory. And so I'm going to change directory back to my user directory. And if I type ls, now I have that folder that's called hello. Once we've made a bunch of folders, we will also probably want to remove those folders. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to move hello back to the world directory. So I'm typing wo, pressing tab, and then I'm going to press enter. I want to make another directory in this one called hello. If I type ls here, I have a directory that's called hello. I'm also going to do ls. I'm going to type w, press tab on my keyboard. So this is listing the contents of the world directory. And now I have another directory in there that's called hello. So these are two different directories now. I want to remove the first hello that I created here that's currently in this directory. So I'm going to do this command called rmdir, remove directory. I'm going to press enter. If I type ls here, that hello directory is gone. The command line doesn't really have a temporary trash location in the same way that Mac OS and Windows do. So when you remove something, it's gone. You can really politely ask our tech staff for help to get stuff back, but it actually kind of depends. They might not be able to recover. They can do their best, but they might not be able to recover the files that you've removed this way. So when you are removing something, make sure that it is what you want to remove. I'm going to try and also remove the world directory. So I typed in rmdir, and then I typed in wo, and I typed tab. And then what this is now telling me is that there's something in there, so you probably don't want to remove this directory. You should check out what's in there before you go through the process of deleting it. I'm going to type ls and then wo and tab, and I'm pretty confident that I want to delete this. So I'm going to use another command. This one is just rm. rmdir is specifically for empty directories. Rm is a command that you can use to remove files and to remove directories. If I just type in rm wo and then tab, it's going to tell me this is a directory, so I can't actually remove it the way that you want me to. So to do that, I have to type in rm-r. So do this recursively, and now I've typed in wo and press tab. This is now saying I would like you to empty the world directory, so change into the world directory and delete everything that's in it, and then change into anything that's beneath that that's a directory and remove everything beneath that. So do it recursively. This is going to ask me each time, should I descend into this directory? Yes. Should I remove the directory that's called hello? This is empty, so rm is saying, yeah, I can delete this for you if you want. I'm going to say yes. Should I remove the directory world? Yes, I want to remove that directory. If I type ls here now, I have no directory that's called hello. I have no directory that's called world. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to type in rmdir. I know that this not hello is empty, so I'm going to type no and then tab, and that will delete the directory that's called not hello from this folder.